If you watched the live stream last Saturday, what was it, the March 25th, we were with Tim starting to peel the onion of the electrical systems for van dwellers or any type of vehicle dwellers. So we started from scratch, from zero. I will put a link to that live chat in the description of this channel. So if you didn't see it, you will have the opportunity of watching it. What we basically discussed was essentially how important it is that you decide what things you will carry with you in your vehicle before you buy your solar system or your electrical system of any kind. So if you only have a cell phone, you will be fine with just a battery pack. Mine, I charge it when I go to Starbucks or the library or wherever, and I can power my phone a couple of times later on with a USB and a couple of Type-C inputs and outputs. So this is fantastic if you only have a cell phone or just, there are some bigger ones, bigger in capacity for a cell phone and a laptop, for example, or a tablet, and they tell you how many watts or how many charges you can get out of one of these. And I will put the links to some of those in the description of this video as well. But I somehow wanted to summarize what we discussed on Saturday, and I made these couple of slides to show you to try to make it more clear. First, you're going to decide what things you will carry with you in your van. We agree if it is just a cell phone, a laptop, with the charger, you may be okay for short trips, because it also depends on how many hours a day you're going to be in your vehicle. Some people use their vehicle as a camper for the weekends, and of course it's way easier that way because they can leave the house with all the phones and tablets and everything already charged. But then there are the other ones that live in our vehicles all the time. So it depends on several factors, and you will have to study your own particular situation. So as you see, once you decide what you are going to charge or what you are going to need charged in your vehicle, let's suppose you're a nomad and you live in your vehicle. Let's say, for the sake of this part, you have an SUV or a car or a minivan, small vehicles, right? So you're not going to have a big fridge, nothing like that. So I know of someone who has an SUV with a microwave, a small microwave, but still, you will need to account for all the things you want to carry with you and how many watts an hour those things use. Now, in this example here, I considered a laptop. I didn't calculate a tablet, but it's less than that probably. A laptop can use anywhere from 20 watts per hour to 300 watts per hour. So you have an idea. Of course, they don't run for a whole hour. Maybe a laptop gets charged in 20 minutes or so. You have to monitor those things, how long it takes to charge. Because while it is charging, it is using that amount. So let's suppose the laptop takes 1 hour to charge. They don't. But let's suppose, for the example, it takes 1 hour to charge. It's going to use 300 watts, maybe. So It could use 50, it could use 80. You have to read the little label they have where it says so many WH, watts per hour. A cell phone takes about 2 to 6 watts per hour, and maybe a cell phone will use a whole hour to charge, maybe less, maybe more, but it's going to be tops 6 watts an hour. So if you have, for example, a Jackery or a Blue 80 that have 500 watts in total charge, the cell phone is going to take so very little, you're not going to even notice. It's going to be like a bleep, and that's it in the total amount of your Jackery or Blue 80. Now, let's say you have a 12-volt fridge, one of those small fridges that you can take with you in the car. That one is going to use between 40 and 100 watts per hour. And again, they don't stay on for a whole hour, but they run for about 10 minutes or so, and then 1 hour or 2 hours later they run again, and then 1 hour or 2 hours later they run again. And of course they are going to run less if the weather is nice and cold outside. They're going to run way more often if the van is hot. So that is why window protectors help keep the temperature of the environment low so the fridge doesn't go on all the time. So those are things you have to calculate. Just for the fun, and because someone mentioned that in the live stream, in the live chat, fairy lights. It's such a variety of, they use such a huge different amounts of watts per hour because it depends on how many little bulbs there are, how long the strings are. So you have to read in the label how many watts per hour they use. I found the range goes from 4 to 40 watts an hour. So if you have them running for 2 or 3 hours a night, and those are the very nice ones, super long with lots of bulbs, you're going to be using probably 40 watts per hour. So if you leave them on for 2 or 3 hours, it's going to be 80 watts out of your Jackery, 120 watts out of your Jackery. So that plus the teeny little intervals of your cell phone and the fridge and the laptop or tablet, you keep adding, and your Jackery or Blue 80, if they are 500, they are going to probably be completely depleted in the day, because the total per hour of all those things combined, if they were to run for a whole hour together, you're looking to something between 66 to 446 watts per hour. So again, if you have a $500, so if you have a 500 watt Jackery, it goes away in the day. Now let's suppose the day is cloudy or it's rainy, and the following day it's going to rain and be cloudy too. Now you use all your electricity for the day in one day, and how do you power your things the following day? That is something that was discussed in the live chat, and we can go through that again if you need to. Just let me know in comments and we will discuss that. And those Jackery and Blue 80, we call them power banks or power batteries or something like that. And they can be small, just slightly bigger than your phone charger. The smallest one, I think it is 167 watts. That's it. It's a small little thing, which is perfect for a tablet or something like that. So you don't need to connect that to anything else. And if you don't have anything else, you don't have a fridge, you don't have the fairy lights, you don't have anything else, That will probably be enough for your phone and a tablet, easy. The bigger ones, I found, I don't know if they're bigger than that, 2,160 watts an hour is the biggest one I found. That is I mean, it's a thing. It's a big, big thing that you have inside of your vehicle. So now we have to start considering how much room do you want to allow that thing to take in your vehicle, because it's a big suitcase, kind of big thing. You have to check the dimensions of those things and the cost, because the power bank alone at that high capacity, you're not going to pay less than $2,000 for them. So you have to consider the space is going to take in a car, SUV, or minivan. I think it is not logical. And you're going to be paying close to $2,000 for the big ones. So there are other options that are not going to set you back so much. And we are going to discuss those next Saturday on the second part in our live chat, on the second part of all these difficult things. And then those batteries, just to summarize this part, those big batteries, 500, 1000, 1500, 2000, those huge things, or the not so huge, the 167, the 240, the 500, those are the numbers of the amount of watts they provide you. Those, you have to feed them, so they do have that electricity inside for you to power your things. And to feed them, you need to have either the flexible panel, that one that looks like a little suitcase, very cute, that you have to take outside and put in the sun, and then every night you have to bring them in. Or you have to have, like I did, a solar panel on my roof. I got a 100, and that cost me $80, and I fixed it to the top of my roof with tape. And I will put the link to the video where I explain that in details, in case you want to know how I put it there. Because the thing is, with that one up there and a 500 Jackery, I have a small fridge, a 12-volt fridge, a small one, running all the time. Well, 10 minutes or 15 minutes several times a day. Usually I unplug it at night because it keeps the cold inside, so it doesn't drain my battery. I have my cell phone. My laptop is a gamer's laptop, so it kills my Jackery. I cannot use it, so I have to go to the library or a coffee shop in order to charge it there. This is just to give you an idea of the struggle. If you're going to have a 500, like I do, with a 100 panel on the roof, and always parked in the sun. Because of course you cannot park under a tree, because the solar panel is not going to feed your Jackery or Bluetti. You will find lots of videos online in YouTube with the differences between Jackery and Bluetti, and you will be able to assess the quality of the power bank, whether it lasts 2 or 3 years or 5 years or something like that. I should have started with a 1000 Jackery and probably a 200 watt panel to feed the Jackery, because it fits on my roof and it would be fantastic. It would keep everything running properly, and maybe even my gamer's laptop, to give me more independence. I didn't like the portable solar panels, the flexible ones. They are expensive. I think they are $200 for a 100-watt panel. And as I said, I paid $80 for my 100 panel. So 80 or 200. I think I am really loving my panel on top. But on top of that, my solar panel, the flexible one that I bought first, in 6 months it stopped working. It was under guarantee, so it was replaced. They gave me a new one. And the new one, in about 6 months or so, it was already scratched and everything. And they told me, they are made of glass and plastic. They are fragile. You have to take very good care of them. And honestly, in the middle of the desert, there is wind. The wind turns them over, flips them over, and they fall. And I think they are cute. You have to decide whether you want to have something on the roof or not. If you're going to have the flexible ones, you have to be very careful. And of course, you cannot put them outside when it's raining because they cannot get wet. So personally, I swear by the one on the roof. And to me, it's the most comfortable thing. I don't have to worry about, I have to go out and put the solar panel outside, I have to bring it in and clean it and everything so it doesn't bring the dust in, that kind of thing. That was annoying to me. But I really love the convenience, the freedom of having that one up there. That today was to summarize what we did last Saturday. Next Saturday, we are going to talk about bigger vehicles and their options, with one little exception. Tim has a minivan and he uses one of these systems we are going to talk about on Saturday in his minivan, and he's going to tell us how he built it. And we are going to have Doug showing us the other system he made for his van. It's a little bigger van. It's comparable to a cargo van. He has a different system there, and we are going to ask him how much power his solar panels have, how much power he can store in that system he built. And we are going to ask the same questions to Tim. To me, I am super surprised that Tim was able to fit a system inside of his van. I think it's genius, but we know Tim. He's an excellent electrical engineer, sort of. We love that. So, next Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are going for the second part of this, which has to do with needing to have more things, a bigger fridge, maybe a regular fridge, a small microwave, what else? An Instant Pot or Instapot. And by the way, if you look at this little graphic here, I included, just as a reference, as an idea to start understanding what we are going to be talking about on Saturday, a small microwave that uses 700 watts an hour. Those are the smallest microwaves you can get. Imagine I have a 500 Jaggery. I couldn't power a 700 microwave. Doesn't make any sense. So even with a 1000 Jaggery or Bluetti, I wouldn't be able to power probably a microwave. So, but microwaves can take, in this small range, they can take up to 1020 watts per hour, the small ones. The super big ones, they go up in that amount of watts per hour they use. And the Instant Pot, that one can go from 700 watts an hour to 1200 watts an hour. Of course, maybe you don't use it more than a few minutes. It's the same like the microwave. You use it for, I don't know, 5 minutes to warm something up, but you have to be mindful that you cannot use those high number things with a small Jackery or Blue Eddy. Even with the big ones, it's difficult to replenish all of that electricity in that power bank. What we are going to be talking about next Saturday is how to have enough stock of electricity, thousands of watts stored, so we can use any of these things easily without having to worry about what we can have, what we can use, how long, all those things. So please join us next Saturday when we talk about the big guns. I hope all of this information is helping somehow to decode this super complicated issue of the electrical, and I'll see you on Saturday. We are going to talk about the big guns. Thank you very much for being here. Have a great day. Take care.